How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? It is our privilege to bring you at this time an eyewitness report of the first International Crepedation Contest. We are speaking to you from the ringside of the great make-believe auditorium, which is packed to the rafters with spectators eager and curious. For the benefit of my listeners who are not acquainted with the facts relating to this event, it might be well to describe the two contestants. Lord Windermere from Wattingfark, who, of course, the champion of the British Empire. The challenger is Paul Boomer, native son of Australia, who I understand worked his way to Canada in the crew of an ocean freighter carrying a load of melted cabbage, upon which, so is it stated, Boomer trained exclusively. Well, here he comes, Lord Windermere. I'll see if I can get him to come to the microphone to say a few words. Joe, see if you can get his lordship to come over here a few minutes. Yes, tell him it's forthright. Thank you. Well, Lord Windermere seems to be in good spirits. He's smiling and happy. Thrown around him is a beautiful silk dressing gown of perfect purple velvet, upon which is worked, I imagine, to be the coat of arms of the House of Windermere. It's a beautiful thing. Good boy, Joe. And in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to have his lordship himself come to the microphone and say a few words. Yes, right over here, please. Over here. Here it is. Right to the microphone. The champion himself, Lord Windermere. Your Highness, how did you come to take an interest in this unusual art?
Well, I suppose you could say it all started over Lady Windermere's fan.
I see.
Yes, I noticed she was constantly waving this fan in front of her face, so I asked her why the deuce she did it. So she retorted that if I insisted on constantly trepidating, she had to fan away and clear some vision. So my friends were drawn to the controversy and persuaded me to capitalize on my proficiency and sort of go in for it. That's all.
Thank you very much, Your Majesty. Thank you and good luck to you. That was Lord Windermere, champion scrapper. Ah, yes, and here's Paul Boomer from Australia. Paul, over here, please. Ask Mr. Boomer to come over here. Please, right here. I wanted to speak on the radio. Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll have Paul Boomer right over here. Yes, here he is. His attendant has just pointed us out. Howdy, Paul. He just waves his hand in greeting and starts walking over to the microphone. And here, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Boomer. You say a few words for our audience, Mr. Boomer?
Hello, Senator.
Now, tell me, sir, when did you first realize you were proficient enough to take a shot at the Empire Championship?
Well, ever since I was a little nipper, I liked to have a go at it. I remember I used to make me mother and father laugh their bleeding heads off when I'd let one go during the announcement of the ladies' side.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Boomer. That's good enough. You've got into our contest now, and yes, there's the bell. Thank you, Mr. Boomer, and good luck. He hurries off to the center of the arena to meet the champion and to receive instructions. Now the house lights are dimming, and the great flood of high-powered electric lights cascade down in the center of the great arena, where stands in simple eloquence the blasting post. The blasting post is 4 feet high and is decorated with red, white, and blue bunting up to about 9 inches from the top. The very top section has been worn smooth by the grip of many hands in many previous contests, and now it appears that Paul Boomer is to be the first at the blasting post, and that, I believe, is customary for the challenger to take the first effort. Yes, Paul Boomer takes off his dressing gown and strides to the blasting post. He grips it firmly around the top and flexes his knees. The signal to commence has not yet been given, and so I may assume that these are just preliminaries. I think I have time to describe Mr. Boomer's outfit. He's stripped from the waist up and wears a tight-fitting trunk of powder blue trimmed with scarlet. These trunks are similar to those worn by wrestlers, with one important difference. There's a hole of about 6 inches in diameter removed from the seat. This, of course, has been done for obvious reasons. This symmetrical aperture is called the fenêtre de brise, literally translated meaning the zephyr window. Mr. Boomer's fenêtre de brise has a scarlet trim around its perimeter, giving a very provocative air to the genial Australian's backside. And there goes the signal to commence. You may have heard it over the microphone, a blast on the medieval appropriated flugel, the traditional woodwind instrument associated with this sport for centuries. Now a hush falls on the vast throng as Paul Boomer walks slowly and deliberately to the blasting post. He is exuding confidence. He gives one last all-encompassing grin to the tense audience as he grips the blasting pole with a pair of hands that look as though he could splinter the post. Now he flexes his knees, much in the manner of a boxer. He is concentrating on the very top of the blasting post. You can hear a pin drop. He is concentrating, and here it comes. Oh, beauty! Oh, beauty! I think it was a triple flutter blast. Yes, that is what the judges signal. A triple flutter blast. That gives him 25 points right off the bat. And here's another of the same, and another 25 points, followed by 1, 2, I beg your pardon, 3 fudgy blasts in rapid concession. It's amazing how this man can change pace and style just by the slight shifting of his buttocks area. Now he's still gripping the post in complete concentration. Boomer now has a score of 55. Those last 3 fudgy blasts at 5 points apiece added 15 points to his previous score, and now he's coming. A blooper, a perfectly executed blooper. What's this now? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That was a follow-up blooper. A follow-up blooper. The second time in the history of this sport that a follow-up blooper has been achieved in open competition. The only other time, I believe, was during the World Series held in Europe in 1783. During the course of this series, Francois Fouf, the famous French blaster, after leaving a follow-up blooper, defeated Sandy McSwin, his Scottish opponent, by only one bloop and then dropped dead. As you know, since then, in honor of Monsieur Fouf, the bloop has been dropped from open competition. Now the score is 105 points for Boomer. Bloopers, of course, count 10 points, but a follow-up blooper, a very difficult maneuver, is 40 points. Well, it's certainly been a whirlwind set, and I think that poor Boomer is about out or blown out of a fudgy blast, and another, and that gives him 10 more points, and he's not through, apparently. Wait a minute, here comes a freep. A little freep, only worth 2 points. Very dangerous, and another freep. Well, not bad. Well, he certainly is putting up a fighting finish. 4 freeps. A very hazardous blast because of the danger of flotching, but giving him 8 very valuable points. And there he throws up his hands as a signal he has finished. The crowd gives him a tremendous ovation. He's sitting down looking a little pale, a little wan perhaps, but smiling happily at the crowd. This man has a definite charm about him that endears him to all but except, the most rabid Wintersmith fans. And here, wait a minute.
Paul Boomer, 123 points.
Did you hear that? 123 points. The world record beating Lord Wintersmere's previous world mark of 119 points by 4 points. Paul Boomer, at this moment, the world's champion. But for how long, we don't know, because Lord Wintersmere might take it right back. And here's his lordship now walking up to the pole, apparently not in the least bit disconcerted by the thrilling performance of his challenger. He is outfitted a little differently than Paul Boomer. He has purple tights, full-length tights, and around the furniture debris, you remember the thin hole cut out in the center of the seat, around which there's a fringe of little gold tassel about 4 inches long. This, no doubt, is some effect by... Just a moment, there seems to be some sort of dispute. Paul Boomer and his seconds are on their feet and seem to be arguing with the judges and pointing to the fringe on the champion's posterior. Paul Boomer is claiming that the fringe might add a whipple or some other sound to Lord Wintersmere's efforts and so increase their value. And after all, in a closely fought contest like this, every little advantage must be delicately watched. The judges are agreeing with Paul Boomer, and they direct the champion to remove the fringe. He doesn't like the decision very much. The crowd is getting resentful. They think he should be a better sport about it, and I agree with them. He seems to have decided that he has to give in, and he rips off the fringe and flings it to the ground. Then he walks over to where Boomer is sitting, and he turns his back, puts his hands on his hips, and he leaves a freak right in Paul Boomer's face. The crowd gets a great kick out of this. As you know, a freak is a very low score, only 2 points. But to throw one away just in a gesture of defiance shows the spirit of dashing recklessness which has made the Englishman the champion. He is smiling disdainfully now as he moves to the center of the arena. He nods to the judge to show he is ready. Hello, what's this? He's not going to use the blasting post. Lord Wintersmere, the champion, in a final gesture of contempt, scorns the use of the blasting post. Well, this is developing into a bit of a grudge contest. He has his hands on his hips, feet apart, knees slightly bent, and a fizzler. His first is a fizzler, and another one, and 2 in a row, and another one. 3 fizzlers in a row. A tremendous effort. 60 points in his first 30 seconds, and 4 fudgies. 4 fragrant fudgies in rapid succession. It is a pleasure to see the ease and comfort with which his lordship leaves his blast. Perfect technique, and our score is 80 points. 80 points in the first 30 seconds at the post. Now he is getting ready again, hands on hips, a little bit red in the face as he strains. Oh, something's wrong. Wait a minute. His attendant is running to him. He's in some sort of distress. I see the judge's signal. It was a plotcher. Oh, hard luck, your lordship. Oh, hard luck. The champion left a very bad plotcher and will be penalized 15 points. That puts him back to 65 points. 59 short of the 124 he needs to retain his championship. He is all set again. Seems to be straining a little more cautiously, and here is a thunder's break. A thunder's break, a beautiful bit of wind-breaking virtuosity. The most difficult blasting to perform without flotching. This man has wonderful control, and the crowd is really warming up to him. That thunder's break counts 30 points and takes Lord Wintersmere up to 95 points. It is getting very tense now, and here it is next. A trill blow. 10 points followed by a resounding single flutter blast. I think that is, yes, the judges proclaimed that to be a single flutter blast. A lovely change of pace. And now the excitement is growing unbearable as the champion takes a step away from the post, and the score is 120, just 3 points short of Paul Boomer's mark. Just 3 points short. If he gets one more fuzzy or 2 small freeps, it's all over but the shouting, and the challenger will have to return to Australia with his shattered hopes. I think everyone's heart aches for Paul Boomer. He's really a great guy. When this mare steps up to the post again and looks very confident as he gets ready for the killing. And here it is, here it comes. A freep, that's 2 more points. A little small freep. That's all it was, 2 points. And now it's practically all over. Just one more of these little freeps, those little 2-point freeps, and the contest will be over. It seems as though his lordship was deliberately tormenting Boomer by tarrying. But Boomer is smiling. It's a forced smile, but he is trying hard. He is sitting here trying hard to take it like the grand sportsman that he is. But you can see defeat standing ready to sweep away his dreams at almost any moment. And now Lord Windermere steps forward and hello, he's going to use the blasting pose in his final effort. He flexes his knees. It looks as though he is going to try for a high-scoring effort, for a whirlwind finish, perhaps another fizzler. Now he is trying very hard. The veins are starting out on his forehead, and even the trickle of perspiration venturing down his temple seems to have faith, so that this mighty last effort should have undivided attention. Now with a gesture of a smile for the champion, he seems to have decided just what treatment, what is he going to give for his final bid. The audience, almost to a man, is on its feet, breathless and tense. He closes his eyes, a look of pure ecstasy on his face. Oh, he defecated. The champion is disqualified. Ladies and gentlemen, as a special service feature, we have brought you direct from the ringside of the Maple Leaf Auditorium a blow-by-blow description of the first Intrepidation contest to be held under the international auspices. Your narrator has been Sidney S. Brown.